Hey guys, I just finished a video, kind of a thank you video for the response to my last video. How many times can you say that at one time? So that's the reason I'm dressed the same. I was watching Lea from James and Lea D, and I absolutely love their channel. I love their puppies, and they have the sweetest marriage, and they love God, and it's wonderful. But I watched her homemaking tag. I think it's called Homemaking Tag or Homemaker Tag. So I thought, since I'm really new at this and I don't have a lot of ideas really, I thought I would do this because I've been a homemaker since I was, well, we won't discuss my age. Yeah. So I thought I would answer these questions. Okay, the first one says, has anyone ever said anything negative to you about staying at home? Yes, but they haven't said it directly to me. I've just heard it, that it was said, other people told me, well, things that were said. I don't get offended by it. It doesn't bother me. If anything, to be quite honest, I feel sorry for that person who views homemaking the way that they do, because the Lord looks at it as a high calling, and I feel very strongly about it, and I love what I do. My boys are pretty much grown right now. My youngest is 17. Well, he'll be 17 this year in a couple months. My oldest is in college, but I love taking care of my home. Oh, I love it. I love cleaning. I love cooking. I just love making a home for my husband when he comes home from work. I love for it to be warm and inviting and smell good and just his escape from the world. And I know I'm doing what God wants me to do. And also with that is, I know my children are grown, essentially, they can do for themselves pretty much, but I know I like being available to them. My son, who is in college, he has needed me in the past to go and pick up something for him or go do this for him, because he's in school, plus he works full time. He doesn't have time to do everything he needs to get done in the day. And I love to be able to be there, to be called upon to help him, and do what he needs. Eventually I'll have grandchildren. I want to be available to my children so that, if they need someone to watch the grandbaby or whatever, I want to be available to them. So I don't ever see myself going back to work. God willing, I'm very thankful for the time that I've been able to be a homemaker for my kids. I raised my children all the way through at home. Never were in daycare or anything like that. And I'm very blessed and very thankful every day that I get to call this my job, because I love it. That was a long answer to number one. There's 20 questions. Okay, number two. What is your least favorite part about staying home? My favorite part about staying home is probably what I said just a minute ago, is just I love being able to make a place for my husband and family or friends to come over and feel welcomed, feel relaxed, eat a good meal, have some good sweet tea. I learned the other day that up north they don't sweeten their tea like we do down here. A friend of mine told me that, and I found that I've drank like hot teas, but I've never drank I don't know. I love some good homemade sweet tea, and I make some good homemade sweet tea. So, I don't know. My favorite thing is to be able to provide a space for family and friends and loved ones to come. And I'll be honest with you, there has never been anyone that has come to my house and not just sat and talked about how peaceful it is. And that means the world to me, God's presence in my home has a whole lot to do with that. But it's just nice to know that I'm able to provide that, for people. So that's my favorite. My least favorite part, I don't have one. I mean, really, I can't think of one at all. I love it. Okay. Number 3, what is your favorite and least favorite chore? Well, my favorite thing to do, I don't call this a chore, but my favorite thing to do is cook. I absolutely love doing it. New recipes, old recipes, just I love to cook. Least favorite chore, cleaning glass, because I think this is just comes with a person who has anxiety, but perfectionism, it is something that I struggle with. And when you are cleaning a mirror or a glass door like what I have back here, you can't get it perfect. I'm telling you, there's a streak no matter what. They just appear from out of nowhere. So I'm probably going to say cleaning glass would be my least favorite because it never looks perfect. Okay. Anyway, what time do you wake up and what time do you go to bed every day? I don't have a set schedule. I just flat out don't. I go to bed when I get sleepy and I get up when I get up. If I had to say a time frame, which again is probably going to sound absurd, but I usually get up between 10 and 11 in the morning, and I usually go to bed between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. I have always been a night owl, even growing up. So I've always been a night owl. So that's that. Do you put anything on in the background while you clean, cook, or work? Usually. Typically it is either a sermon, some type of video, homemaking video. I love minimalism videos. I'm just now really getting into minimalism. That's like been this new thing that has felt so good. Worship music. I have a playlist on Spotify that I use. So yeah, I usually turn something on. Do you get dressed most days or just wear pajamas? It varies. I will say that I don't just wear a nightgown around all day long. If I am in pajamas, it may not be what I wore to bed that night. It may be like a top and a bottom that is labeled pajamas, but really, I mean, you could wear it somewhere and no one would think it was pajamas, but it's like lounge clothes. Sometimes I wear that. Sometimes I put on jeans. It really just depends. Just something comfortable to clean in and everything. But before my husband comes home, unless I am sick, I will do my hair and put on some makeup, even if it's just powder, mascara, and a lip gloss or a lip stain, and I will put on his favorite lotion and body spray. So I make sure I do that every day before he comes home, regardless what I have on. Okay, do you do your hair and makeup every day? In some capacity, yes. Makeup, especially hair, sometimes I will just put up in a clip or something, but makeup, I always put on powder, mascara, and lip gloss, even if I'm not leaving the house. As far as full makeup, eye makeup, things like what I have on today, typically is if I'm going somewhere, when he gets home. I typically don't go anywhere while he is at work. I just prefer to wait for him to come home. So, number 8. Oh, there are 20 questions. What am I at? 11 minutes? I really have to learn how to talk faster or less. What is your travel zone, need help zone in the home? Well, I will be honest and say right now I don't have one. I had one, but like I said, I've been getting into this minimalism, and I have literally decluttered my entire house. Now, that doesn't go, because you can see the background. Home decor, I'm not minimal on, because as I said earlier, one thing that's very important to me is having a welcoming, inviting home, and I just think decor, lamps, candles, those things make a home inviting. But Like, for example, I'm looking in my kitchen right now, and I have literally, there's nothing on my counters. There's a microwave and a coffee pot. But all the other cooking, what is it, gadgets, for lack of a better word, those type things, I've found a place for. Our travel zone used to be this counter right here, and Aaron every day would put his keys, his wallet, and his phone. Well, I got that. I had a basket there for those things to go, but I didn't want anything on the counters. So I've moved that into our bedroom closet. And for the most part, he's doing really good. Sometimes I catch him, but for the most part, he's doing pretty good. Okay. How often do you get distracted? When I'm cleaning, I typically don't. Part of the whole perfectionism, that type of personality, I'm very focused when I'm doing something. You can ask my husband. If I'm doing something, I'm going to get it done, and I'm going to get it done right. Otherwise, I'm just not going to do it. So, no, I do not get distracted. And I will tell you one thing that helps is I used to watch cleaning videos, like clean with me videos, which crack me up sometimes because their house really isn't dirty, which my house, I guess, really doesn't get dirty because I don't have little kids. But anyway, I watched one, and it was called a Power Hour. Probably Google it and watch some to get tips on it. But basically, you make a list, you set a timer, you do it for everything in that hour. And for some reason, when you have a time limit to do something, if you have a tendency to get distracted, it really keeps you more on task. So, do you enjoy staying home, or do you miss going to work every day? I've already answered that. I love staying home. I do not miss work at all. What is your never-ending chore? Well, the only thing that's really, chores are always never-ending if you keep your house clean, because you have to do all of it. But something I do every day is cook. I don't think of that as a chore. I think of that more as a passion. I love it. But I cook every day, which obviously if you cook, there's dishes. So it's never ending. But I don't mind it. What is your favorite thing to do for me time? Well, it depends. If it's summertime, my favorite thing is to sit out on our deck and just in the sun with the book, some sweet tea, and read, or just watch the birds and just spend time with God. If it's wintertime, I'm working on a blanket. I like to knit, so I do that, or I read. Okay. We're not big TV people, which is good because there's nothing worth watching on TV anymore. How often does your husband chip in? Well, when I ask him to, he will. As far as cooking and your basic daily type cleaning things, he doesn't really. But that's my job. I don't ask him to, nor do I want him to. He's come home after his day at work. He shouldn't have to do anything. I will tell you one thing that he does do, because he wants to, and he's done it ever since we've been married, is laundry. Now, granted, we don't have a lot of little children, and my son, who does still live at home, does his own laundry, so it's just mine and Aaron's. So about once a week, well, twice a week, he'll do our clothes and towels. But he does it because he wants to. He used to be in the military. He is very picky on how his clothes are folded and put away. And I don't know if that's just every military person, but I have a friend of mine whose husband was in the Navy, and he was the same way, meticulous on how his clothes were put on a hanger. If you could just, love his heart, if you could just see Aaron doing laundry, I should film it one day. It takes him forever to hang up one shirt because it has to be perfect. But he does it, so I don't complain, and my clothes are always hung up perfectly, folded, even underwear. The man folds underwear perfectly. Fitted sheets, I can't fold a fitted sheet to save my life. Yep, perfect every time. Yep. So yes, he chips in and he does laundry. If you have kids, when do you find time to do chores? My kids are essentially grown, so I don't have to worry about that. How do you balance being a homemaker and creating YouTube content? I just started doing this, so I don't think that I have insight on that. I have enjoyed it. It's kind of nice to be able to do this and edit it, but it's not really a balance. I just do it in my spare time, and I enjoy it so far. What is your favorite room in the house and why? I'm gonna say my bedroom, which I love my kitchen and I love our living room, but my bedroom probably because I have just made that special. You know, it has pictures from our wedding on the wall, um, things that mean a lot to us. My husband loves to read, and so he reads to me a lot. So some of the books that we first read together, I have them in a bookcase. So every corner that I look in my bedroom is something special from our past. So that's important to me, and that's where we pray together. We have an area specifically set aside in the room for that. And I don't know, it's just where we, spend time with God the most and really with each other the most. Right now, we are reading, which I've already read this. It's the story. This is like a summed up version, kind of more in story form of the Bible, and it's so good. Like I said, I've read the Bible, and there are things I learned from this that I didn't quite put together from the Bible. So he reads to me one chapter a night. And so in our room, so that's just a special place that we do, have our time with God and each other. So next question. What is your least favorite room in the house and why? Probably, I'm just going to say the guest room. I don't have a reason. I'm just never in there. So the guest room. Do you feel your home reflects your style and personality? Yes. It's simple, yet warm and inviting. And I would like to think that that's the kind of person that I am. And if not, I hope I strive to be that way. So, let's see. The screensaver on my husband's MacBook must be set on like 5 seconds. What does your home smell like? That's easy. Bath and Body Works. I have an issue with Bath and Body Works. I won't even go into how deep that issue goes. But during the winter time, it smells like Marshmallow Fireside. That is my absolute favorite winter scent from Bath and Body Works. I have one unopened right here. I have one burning back there. And I also have plug-ins, the wallflowers, in several rooms of the home, all Marshmallow Fireside. And I will burn that from usually November through March. And I don't think you can get them now unless they still have them because they were clearance. They only sell them through fall and winter. But I have 3 cases of candles from Bath and Body Works under my bed. One case is this. Smell is important. What is your strong and your weak point when homemaking? I guess my strong point would just be my drive and motivation in doing the job well. Anything I do, I want to do well, and I look at it as doing it for the Lord, more than for anything else, more than for my husband, more than for my children, as I do it for the Lord. So I think that's my strong point, is how I view homemaking, and my weak point, being so driven, sometimes I feel like when my house is clean, I want it to stay clean. So maybe I'm a little too perfectionist type, you know. My husband and my kids have never told me that, but I have a tendency that when my house is really, really clean, if it gets a little bit messed up, it gives me anxiety. I mean, I guess that would be my weak point, is being perfectionist in the things that I do. So anyway, this video is 26 minutes. Hopefully it can be edited down quite a bit. But I just wanted to do that tag because I'm a homemaker, so why not? So I hope y'all enjoyed it. And if you want to do the tag, the questions will be down in the description. Y'all have a good day. Bye.